Hello everyone and welcome to Yorkshire Gamer, and I'm going to do a book review for you today, and as you can see I'm going to be looking at German Naval Camouflage Volume 1 1939 to 1941, written by John Asmussen and Eric Leon. Hopefully I've got those names pronounced correctly. Just for viewers, there will be pictures of swastikas in this. This is an historical review, nothing to do with political ideology whatsoever. This is what these ships carried in that particular day, and this video is for modelers and wargamers who are interested in recreating the ships as they were when they were afloat back in 1939 to 1941. So with that out of the way, I'll just change the camera angle and we'll have a look inside the book. So, going to have a quick flick through, and you can see here £35 RRP. I think I paid 26 for it, but it can be picked up on eBay, etc. I've seen it around for similar prices. We've got Seaforth Publishing there as the publishers, and we've got 192 pages, and let's see if we've got a publish date on this. 2012, so reprinted in 2016, so I've got the 2016 version. I'm pretty sure it's not like Harry Potter where the original version's worth £1 million, but you never know. So we've got a little bit of an introduction here, contents page, and the introduction is probably the most wordy bit of it before we move into a discussion of the types of camouflage. So is it a camouflage that's trying to conceal? Is it a disguise? Are we trying to fool people that it's a different ship? Is it disruptive? Are we trying to change or affect the way that people think the range of our ship away from them is? Or is it mimicry? Are we trying to be something that we aren't? I'm sure we're all doing that. So that's that first little bit of a chapter there, and talk about it. Then there's an interesting chapter there on scale effect and how distance and atmosphere and people's eyesight affect how colours look. That's a very interesting one for modelers to have a look at. And then we've got some descriptions here of the various aerial identifier markings over the years from World War I through to World War II. Then we talk about the basics of the early camouflage before moving on to individual chapters of the various ships. Just going to do a couple here. You know, I'm not going to show you the entire book. Obviously, I would like you to go out and buy this, as the authors, I'm sure, and the publishers would as well. This is just a flick through to give you an idea of what to expect. So, Bismarck, one of my favourite ships, as you probably all know, because not that long ago, I finished that bad boy, which is a 1/700 scale version of the Bismarck. We'll just leave that there, and those of you who are following that build, I've just got some swastika symbols for the white circle, so you can stop moaning now. And actually this picture we're looking at here is the camouflage that is on that ship. So each of the ships, it goes through and it gives lovely detailed colour illustrations of the ship at various parts during its life. So we've got as commissioned here on the left, and then on the right we've got 1940 in the Baltic Sea. As you can see, very, very basic, just two colour scheme there, and it gives a little bit, tiny little bit of detail underneath about changes for the ship and changes to the camouflage in particular. Interspersed with it are original pictures of the ship to give you a clue or to guide you really with the different camouflage markings. This is the famous one, I would say. Many years ago when I was a lad, I had a die-cast model of Bismarck, and it was in this particular colour scheme. I think it had the swastikas on as well, which just shows how far we've moved or changed. I'm not saying it's a positive from the early 1980s, but there we go. And then we're going through the different schemes. April 41, We're into May 41, slight changes, and then this is the one that mine is based on, with the black and white stripes only on the hull, not on the superstructure. But this one hasn't got the red around the aerial recognition marks like mine has. I didn't have this book when I built that ship. I'm not changing it now. So then, moving along, at this point, May 21st of May 41, this has come from a photograph from a British reconnaissance aircraft. We can see here that the air recognition signals have been marked out. And then we move on to May 41, a bit later on. The dark tops, turret tops have gone on the B and C turrets, and then that will have been the camouflage that the ship was sunk in. So it then goes on to cover turrets, and I've got a real urge to do turrets in that colour scheme, which I think I will do. Turrets, and then we move on to the so-called battle cruisers. These things are huge, and I think the battleships, even though they've got 11.5-inch guns, they're modern 11.5-inch guns, which are much better than some of the older battleship guns kicking around. So again, all sorts of different colour schemes. Scharnhorst, lots of the yellow and the red turrets, lots of descriptions about how and why they were used. And then some of the ships obviously survive longer than others. We then move on to the pocket battleships, Deutschland stroke Lutzow. We've got Admiral Scheer in there, and Graf Spee, which is on my build list. That's outside, so I'll be very interested in that one. You're very useful for me when I come to paint it. And then very interesting Graf Spee. Lots of bits were stuck on it to try and make it look like a different ship, so that's quite an interesting read through the various phases that it went through. And then we move on to the heavy cruisers, which the pocket battleships were later reclassed as, and Admiral Hipper, lots of different colour schemes for that ship. And then we obviously move through Prince Eugen, which is again on my build list. I managed to get some stickers from a German company. Amazing, isn't it? You can't get swastikas anywhere else, but you can buy them in Germany. And what they've done to get round that for the decals, and I will do a review on that decal sheet, is that they've split the swastika in half so that you put the red and white and half the swastika down in your first decal run, and then you run through again and put the second part on. So that's Prince Eugen, and you're going to see one of those built with a similar camouflage scheme to the Bismarck at a later stage. Then we move on to Emden, which seems to have been around forever. And then we move on to some light cruisers with Königsberg, Karlsruhe, Köln, Leipzig, all wonderfully illustrated, all additional information from contemporary photographs. And it's not a textbook, it's kind of more of a picture book, and that's not in the negative sense of a picture book. But what you want from this book on German naval camouflage is pictures of German naval camouflage. You don't want hours and hours and pages of text discussion on what camouflage is. You want to see the bloody thing so you know what you're looking at. So then finally at the back of the book, and this is probably the biggest disappointment for me with this book, is the destroyer section, because the destroyer section starts at 177, and while we've got a lot of information on the large battleships and pocket battleships, you're probably talking 10 ships maybe, a little bit more with your light cruisers, but then there's lots more destroyers. And this has been, in my opinion, it's been a little bit rushed, this little bit back of the book. There's lots of nice info here, don't get me wrong, really nice pictures, lots of lovely detail, but I would have liked more on the destroyers. We've kind of zipped through all the destroyers very, very quickly, which is a shame to me, because I think that would have finished the book off nicely. And at the end, we've got some details on seaplane colours and markings, and that's the end of the book. So, from a warship modeller point of view, I would put this book in the essential class. It is the absolute business for German ships from this time period, which is kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at those early battles, I'm looking at Narvik, and I'm looking at the Bismarck chase and eventual sinking. Oops, spoiler alert, giving it away. And yeah, top book. So, hope you enjoyed that, and I shall be back with something very, very soon. I've got some more book reviews coming, monthly updates, more ships, the whole shebang. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to Yorkshire Gamer YouTube channel. I'm trying to catch up with my mate Alex, who's on 27 billion or something like that followers, and I've not even reached 2,000 yet. So give us a subscribe. I promise you it's free. Until next time, see you then.